Hey there guys, what's going on? In today's best class setups in Modern Warfare video, we're taking a look at the brand new weapon in this game. I'm of course talking about the Bruen MK9, which I'm actually super impressed with. This LMG is absolutely nuts, and with the right attachment setup plays very much like an assault rifle. Unlocking this is one of life's great challenges though, and we'll talk about that shortly, but man, this thing absolutely slaps. With this class setup here, I think we found the new best LMG in the game, and at the moment, one of my favorite weapons in the game for sure. But just before we do get into this overpowered Bruen MK9 class setup here, let's try and get this one to 35 likes. The support on the videos from you guys has continued to be fantastic recently, so a big thank you to everyone for liking, subscribing, and commenting on all of the videos. I've got loads of new content lined up for you while you're all stuck inside with the quarantines and lockdowns and all that other nasty stuff, so make sure you do subscribe with those notifications turned on, because according to this little graph here, about 95% of you guys watching this video are not subscribed. So come on, do help a guy out here. We did recently pass 1300 subscribers, so I guess we are on the way to 1400. So let's talk about this Bruen MK9 class here. So we'll start with our sidearm perks and grenade choices here, because this setup is fairly similar to how we usually set up our classes. A secondary is of course the ever reliable snake shot 357 revolver, set up like this with these attachments: the 357 long barrel, the 1mW laser, the lightweight trigger, the snake shot, and of course the akimbo perk. This is a fantastic option for getting up close and personal with people. It does take a little while to pull this out because of the weapon switch speed is a little bit slow because we're running an LMG, but this is a fantastic option still. In the perk 1 slot, we do have EOD, which is fantastic for not dying to those explosives, because no one likes dying to the guy throwing Infinity C4s around the corner. Or Quick Fix is another good option here for getting that health regeneration started as soon as you do get a kill, which is really powerful and sometimes more powerful than a stim shot. In the perk 2 slot, we do have Ghost here, which is a fantastic option for staying undetectable by UAVs, radar drones, and of course heartbeat sensors, which don't come up too often in multiplayer, but are very important in the Warzone, of course. And this of course works in perfect combination with our third perk, which is Tracker, which does let you see enemy footsteps, and you can also see the enemy death markers of people that you do kill, or at least somebody else killed, and of course it hides the death markers of enemies that you do take down. So of course these are both fantastic options for sort of taking control of the flanks and sort of controlling around the edges of the map, which is an ideal way to play this class. In the lethal slot, of course, we do have the C4 here. Of course any of these other options are good as well. You can pretty much choose whatever you like. And the stim shot in the tactical slot, because getting a second chance each life is pretty fantastic. So in this latest patch, we actually get a challenge to complete, and you've probably seen other people doing it as well. You have to get 3 kills on enemies that are near smoke in 15 different games. Normally you would think this would be pretty easy, just slap on a thermal sight, but this is actually way more tedious than you think it would be. This genuinely took me a long time. This class setup I used did look a lot like this particular one here with the PKM. And you can use this to great effect, especially with the Merc foregrip. And also you do need to throw a smoke on this class just to get the job done. But this is not too difficult to do. It just has like a fairly long time, because sometimes the in-game tracker just doesn't work for whatever reason. So you can make this work pretty easily though. But for you lads who are just after the attachments on the MK9 Bruen here, you are in luck. This class absolutely stomps, and it plays an awful lot like an assault rifle here. We do have the monolithic suppressor, the no stock, the commando foregrip, the 60 round mags, which are the real star of the show, and of course the stippled grip tape. This combination of attachments really does set us up to have one of the most powerful weapons in Modern Warfare at the moment. I'm calling it. This thing is overpowered for sure. It's definitely surprising, as this LMG actually plays a lot like an assault rifle due to the 60 round mags. With this class, we do get a great combination of damage, effectiveness at range, good mobility, decent handling, and a very quick reload. So for those of you who are just after the attachments and the perks, feel free to dip out of the video at this stage to go shred some noobs like we did here. This game was actually a load of fun, because we almost dropped a nuke, but we couldn't quite pull it off. So if you are leaving the video here, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. But for the rest of you, of course, I'm going to talk about in more detail the rest of the attachment choices that we do have here, because there's actually some interesting stuff with the MK9. So our first attachment on the Bruen, as I did mention earlier, is the monolithic suppressor. With this, we do get sound suppression and damage range. We do of course lose a little bit of aim down sight speed and aim walking steadiness, but I find the range increase that we do get here more beneficial than the negatives are detrimental to this class. The sound suppression does make it a little bit more difficult for enemies to track us down when we are firing, and extending the damage range is super strong for taking out targets that are slightly further away. The monolithic suppressor is typically between a 7 to 15% range increase, so this number falls between somewhere in here. So this is a very powerful attachment option for us here, and it's usually between this and the compensator for this particular slot with the recoil control. But the MK9 Bruen doesn't really have too much recoil to speak of, so we can skip the compensator. So of course, in the muzzle slot, we get the monolithic suppressor, and that's our first attachment for this overpowered MK9 Bruen class setup here. Like the PKM class that we did drop the other day, link in the top right, we've skipped the barrel slot here, as the Bruen does already have decent bullet velocity, damage range, and of course, recoil control as standard without throwing on a super large barrel here to sort of boost it up. The movement speed and handling decreases that we do get from some of these larger barrels really do make the weapon far too slow, and I'm not a huge fan of the barrel that does increase our ADS speed and movement speed, as I think that attachment can be better served somewhere else. So let's move on. Next, we do have the stock slot here, and in this we get another super powerful option. Here we do have the no stock for the movement speed and aim down sight speed. We do of course lose a little bit of recoil control with this, but it's not super worrying as we do have other recoil and controlling attachments, plus we do have a naturally low recoil from the Bruen to balance this out. This is definitely one of the best attachments in the game for allowing more aggressive playstyles, and whichever weapon you do put it on typically performs way better by default. You're way more consistent when you're trying to move around the map quickly, and the game really does play better that way. This is especially important for an LMG, but this combination of attachments allows us to play in the same way we would with an assault rifle by pushing people and sort of moving around the map quite quickly, which is really strong. Plus, the aim down sight speed is always one of the most powerful stats that you can get. Getting those sights up and firing the first shot is typically enough to win most gunfights, apart from maybe an MP5 at close range. So of course, in the stock slot we've picked the always reliable no stock, and that's the second attachment in this MK9 Bruen class here. Next, we've got what is still a very underrated attachment in this game. In the underbarrel slot, we do have the Commando foregrip for the recoil stabilization and aiming stability. These stats really do help with the horizontal recoil of the Bruen and help make us very accurate here. The MK9 Bruen typically doesn't have too much recoil as it is, but with this attach we do have an actual laser beam on our hands, which feels awesome. The recoil is definitely comparable to the Grau 556, they're both highly accurate. There's not really much else that you can say here. This attachment does help us stay on target and is somehow underrated in this game still. You put this on pretty much any weapon and you will already perform way better. So again, in the underbarrel slot we do have the Commando foregrip, and that's the third attachment in this Bruen class here. Next, we do have our ever reliable rear grip slot. In this we've got, as you would expect from me at this point, the stipply gripply tapely. You know why, aim down sight speed and sprint to fire speed are pretty much some of the best stats on most of the weapons in this game, but even more so for LMGs like the Bruen here. You're pretty much able to be way more aggressive with this, and your weapon just handles so much cleaner and faster than normal, and you can basically just play like this with you with an assault rifle, as I've mentioned a million times already. Plus, when we do get those sights up, we're able to be super accurate and really powerful at range, dealing decent damage to pretty much everyone. The stipple grip tape is such a fantastic attachment in this game, and that's why we've chosen it as part of this overpowered class setup here as the fourth attachment. And lastly, we do have the attachments that I'm most excited about for the MK9 Bruen. We do have the 60 round mags here. With this, we do get a whole host of fantastic things. We do get aim down sight speed, sprint to fire speed, movement speed, a detachable magazine, and a much faster reload. I love the ammo slot in this game. They typically take good weapons and make them fantastic. This is the real star of the show here. Every other weapon in the game is massively jealous of this attachment. We just get so much benefit from pretty much every single stat here that you'd never really rock the box mag when you know that this star is in the game. We are just so much more mobile, and it allows us to be really aggressive and run around as though this was an assault rifle. It just reminds me an awful lot of the Holger 26 when we do throw on the 30 round mags there. It makes it a completely different gun. This is one of those attachments that does allow the rest of our attachments to really shine, which is fantastic as the last attachment that we have chosen here in this class setup. Again, here is the full class setup with the full list of attachments here. These attachments combine to make one of the best weapons in the game at the moment. The MK9 Bruen is quickly becoming one of my favourite weapons in Modern Warfare at the moment because we do get an excellent combination of damage range, decent mobility, fantastic accuracy, and we're able to spray at people pretty much until the end of time with our 60 round mags. It is basically an assault rifle with 60 bullets to fire, which is really powerful in this game, and you can definitely do some serious work with this like we did in the background, and you can very easily spawn trap people if you are playing in the right areas of the map. Anyway, thank you very much for watching this one, guys. I do appreciate you sticking around to check out all of the information that we've got on the stats for the attachments here, because there's loads of fun to talk about this kind of thing. If you guys really did enjoy this one, make sure you do let me know by leaving a like and subscribing if you are new around here so you don't miss out on any more of these classes. We are, of course, working our way towards 1,400 subscribers now, which is absolutely insane to me, so thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!